You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and it's time now for your expanded local news. Taylorville City Council met on Monday evening to review ordinance, discuss business, and look at committee reports. A 5-year veteran of law enforcement, Mike Lavin, was given the oath of office to join the Taylorville Police Department. Taylorville Police Chief Dwayne Wheeler says he's thrilled to have Lavin on board.
He was originally from Auburn, police officer in Auburn for 3 years, and he was a police chief in Divernon for the last 2 years. So he's got a lot of experience, 5 years. He took the lateral test, and he got on the list, and he talked to his wife, and he decided to come over. So, and we're glad to have him. He's very proactive. He was very proactive in Auburn with narcotics, and also in Divernon. He's a go-getter, so we're definitely glad to have him.
Ordinances that were approved include authorizing the execution of the First Amendment to the Business District Agreement between Taylorville and David Paget at 123 East Main Cross and Dustin Clark at 100 through 102 South Main Street, and a motion approving stop signs and slow children at play signs at Eastwood Drive and Pine Tree Drive and Bristol Drive was approved 8-1. Alderman Megan Bryant was the lone no vote. A motion to approve the special events permit and liquor license permit for the Fox Radio Bike Night giveaway at Landmark of Taylorville on October 2nd was also approved. Under committee reports, the council approved the repairs of the spillway transfer pump. A motion for repairs at the Tasty Treat site was tabled to figure out how much will be paid. 3 motions concerning work done at the Taylorville Food Center were approved, and a heavy discussion then took place concerning the demolition of structures that are dilapidated and who are responsible for those costs. Alderman Kathy Driscoll pointed to some city code that is already in place.
City code that's already in place and has been since 1993. It's in Chapter 4, Dash 4, and it goes on with several different things. This pertains to what we already have in place and on the books when we have either nuisance properties, neglected properties, or abandoned properties. We have a protocol that we're supposed to follow. There is a timeline of when someone's supposed to, when the HBO officer is supposed to go, and how soon the property owner has to reply to this. There is necessary steps that we are supposed to be going through. And we're not doing that with every one of these. We're rushing to just jump in and take care of it for people. I want to be sure that we are holding the property owners responsible for all expenses, not just dumpster fees. I think that I'm fine with taking down a neglected or blighted property, but I want them to take it down. I don't understand why the city is going to be taking on this task. We are not in the business of demolition.
Taylorville Mayor Bruce Berry says that since 2017, over 60 dilapidated properties have been taken down. And if the city is serious about cleaning things up, then they need to work together to make that happen. 2 of the 3 motions concerning demolition did fail, however, and the third wasn't even brought up to the full board. A motion concerning a bid on equipment was approved, however, 8-0. Several motions concerning various pay requests were all approved. A motion for Superintendent Mann concerning spending MFT funds was also discussed for amounts over $2,000. Alderman Driscoll questioned which meetings need to be put in the newspaper for public viewing. The city attorney said he would send over a list. Mayor Berry says things are going good with construction projects across the city. The next city council meeting is set for August 18th. As students prepare to head back to school, Taylorville High School is making sure those that plan to drive themselves know how to collect their parking tags. Changes in dates have been made, with seniors getting first priority on Tuesday, August 5th, or today, juniors on Wednesday, August 6th, and sophomores getting their pick on Friday, August 8th. No parking tags will be distributed this Thursday as they conduct their freshman orientation tornado drill. For students that are unable to make their designated day to sign for a parking spot, a friend or family member can acquire one for them. That person will still need to provide a completed parking registration form, license plate number, and proof of insurance. Another requirement calls for all unpaid balances to be taken care of prior to arriving at your specific time. Find out more information on Taylorville CUSD number 3 by visiting them at tcusd3.org. Additional information is also available by visiting them at their Facebook page. Officials in Taylorville are preparing for a number of projects in the near and more distant future. From renovating the town square to completing the roadwork around the Taylorville Food Center and more, planners and construction workers will be busy. City leadership is touting the long-term investment in these efforts towards the local economy and also the draw to Taylorville for visitors and even potentially future residents. Mayor Bruce Berry has his eyes on all of this, especially the work on the Taylorville Square. He expects the work will make this part of the city even more attractive.
The big plan is to redo the roadways and the sidewalks around the businesses. You know, of course, we've always got our business development district money available to help the businesses improve especially the appearance of their outside. And like I said, I just can't say enough about Fair Love, the people that they bring to our community, and that's got to help everyone else. You know, it helps Anderson Jewelers, the Bundles and Bliss, and things like that. So Willow and Birch and all those amenities and things. So I'm very happy with the downtown. Of course, we have a couple open spots. We're redoing a few businesses on East Main. Looking forward to Sugar Daddy's barbecue place to open up soon. That's a block off the square. And so we're very happy with some of the production, I guess, up at the square.
Construction around the Taylorville Food Center is in progress right now. Mayor Berry acknowledges it has caused frustration with some locals. However, he stresses they are working towards reopening the streets as soon as possible.
It's quite a few streets, you know. The big gripe I get is when Shumway Street going to be open. We'll open it as soon as we can. We got a lot of work there to do around Taylorville Food Center, and then our another project that we've began is around St. Mary's and Memorial and the Safe Sidewalks grant that we received. So those two will finish up this fall. And then our next big project is redoing the downtown square, because we will start West Main. I hear at the beginning of this fall, we'll start West Main and finish that up next year. So a lot of projects in the works. We've been fortunate enough to get quite a bit of grant money from the state and from the federal government. And we'll continue to apply for these grants and see what happens.
There are other construction projects happening in the fall as well. They include work on West Main Street along with roads near the hospitals. And some of the sidewalks are coming
Shumway
to a close.
Street and that area, Market and Franklin, will be done, and also the safe sidewalks around Memorial and St. Mary's. We'll finish them this fall, and then we're going to start on West Main, and that's our next project. We'll start on it this fall and finish it next spring and summer. And so we're really looking forward to that, and then our big downtown project. And we've applied for another grant. Hopefully we'll receive this grant to do the blocks off the square. And we're really looking forward to the improvements that we're going to make in Taylorville.
Mayor Berry had the opportunity to visit the new spaces at Taylorville High School. He is happy with the work there, but says they must follow through with the next steps.
Well, I think the school did a great job in the money they had for that, you know, to build the field house like they did, the classrooms, the Tommy TV, you know, the choir room, the new band room and stuff. They tried to take care of everything. You know, again, the big gripe is no performing arts center, and I think they're in the works for that, and so that will be our next project. They left an open area there. Out front of there, which I assume is where they're going to try to build that, and hopefully the money will be coming, and we'll go from there. But the field house, the basketball courts, just looks great. The bathroom facilities are second to none, and it's really a pleasure to go visit that.
Find out more about the city of Taylorville by visiting them at taylorville.net. Bruce Berry appeared as a guest on the WTIM morning show. This will conclude the first portion of your expanded local news, and it's brought to you by First National Bank of Taylorville.
I'm James Kirk, Vice President at First National Bank in Taylorville. I get it. Switching banks sounds like a chore, but we make it easy. I've helped people and businesses move their accounts with less hassle than they've expected and more personal service than they've ever gotten before. We've been here for nearly 70 years, a true community bank that's not going anywhere. If you're ready to make a change, we're ready to help. First National Bank in Taylorville, first every time for nearly 70 years. Member FDIC.
The University of Illinois Extension is looking to make a positive impact in the world of education. As part of their new Teacher Advocate program, Extension staff work with administrators and show them how to better support their teachers. The goal is to address common issues teachers face, especially those which have contributed to an ongoing teacher shortage across the country. They look to show administrators how to move from control to advocacy when overseeing teachers in their work. Valerie Belusco is the Community and Economic Development Educator with the University of Illinois Extension. She hosted a program on Wednesday with several Taylorville school administrators, including 2 new principals.
And so it was really nice to be able to meet the administrators. There's several new ones this year that's coming up in Taylorville. I got to meet them, got to know them. They are wonderful, by the way. I think everyone's going to love them. So Ben Cunningham, he's going to be the new principal for North Elementary. And Stiles Smith, he is the new junior high school principal. And then I got to meet Susan, the technology director, and Michelle, the principal at Memorial Elementary, and Matt from Taylorville High School. And of course, got to meet again with the superintendent who just finished up her first year, doing great things. And I've really noticed has really engaged and become part of the community and really wants to know, just what's going on, how to help, where the concerns are.
Belusco notes that she has seen a tendency from some administrators to micromanage their teachers. While she acknowledges it's out of love for the job, it can undermine the working relationships between administrators and teachers.
The problem is the people who are working underneath them, it just makes it difficult for them to have autonomy and to foster trust with their bosses. So it's just looking at things from different perspectives. Both sides are right, and both sides want to do what they're doing out of love for the job. But you have to understand that there's, a clear line, and teachers do need to have trust in what they're doing and autonomy to run their classroom while knowing what the parameters are that they've been given. And so just understanding that and remembering that can be important.
Belusco sees this collaborative effort with administrators as an important investment in retaining skilled teachers. The right support can prevent teachers from experiencing burnout, which is increasingly more common.
Well, right now, as you've probably heard, most states are facing a teacher shortage. And there is a plethora of reasons for this. A lot of it has to do with just the amount of work that teachers now are faced with and challenges. It can be really difficult, not just to try to manage the classroom and the time and adhere to the state and the federal requirements, but emotionally it can be very tolling as well. When you have administrators who really care, who are really watching for the teachers, who are looking out for them in their best interests, who are building those relationships, it really helps kind of prevent some of that burnout that we see so that we can retain the great teachers that we have in our community and continue to build relationships not only at the school level, but at the community level.
Some other ways administrators can support their teachers include getting to know them in a more profound way and celebrating their wins within the classroom.
Sometimes we get very, very busy and we get to know a person inside a school or a business, but you never really know where they're coming from with certain perspectives unless you get to know them a little deeper. So, you just understanding them, not being nosy and getting, terribly engulfed in their life, but just getting to know them so that you understand their perspective can be very important. We also talk about celebrating our wins, celebrating the teachers, celebrating their classrooms, their students, celebrating all sorts of wins that you might have, and then really defending your teachers, sticking up for your teachers. If there's a rule, enforcing that rule. And sometimes that's just one of the best ways you can really help support your teachers and let them know that you are there for them.
More information on the Teacher Advocate Program is available by contacting Valerie Belusco at 217-532-3941. Valerie Belusco appeared as a guest on the WTIM Morning Show. A NASCAR fan experience for the Illinois Farm Bureau and its members next month is set to enjoy the Illinois 300. It's held at the Worldwide Technology Raceway in Madison, Illinois.
We are offering
IFB member engagement manager Ashley Buke says that it's a $400 value for just $200. Contact your local Farm Bureau to get more information on these tickets. The race is Sunday, September 7th. How's pasture land shaping up this summer? Logan Karcher farms in Hamilton County in southern Illinois. Karcher also serves as the Director of Producer Programs for the Illinois Grazing Lands Coalition. Moving now to obituaries, which can be found at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com and are brought to you by Sutton Memorial Home. This is Chad Sparks.
When a loved one passes, grieving family members and friends often are confronted with dozens of decisions about the funeral arrangements. Sutton Memorial Homes in Taylorville and Nokomis have been helping families in the area for over 55 years with these often difficult decisions. They offer pre-planning, traditional funerals, and cremation. Austin and the staff at Sutton Memorial Homes' goal is to make your family's transition easier in their time of need. Sutton Memorial Homes, where caring is what they do best.
88-year-old Marlon Durbin of Kincaid, formerly of Palmer and Morrisonville, died on July 29th. Graveside service will be August 9th at 11 a.m. at Thomas Anderson Cemetery in north of Palmer. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Masterson Funeral Home in Kincaid. And 78-year-old Joseph Henry Halbert of Dwight, Illinois, formerly of Kincaid, died July 9th. Visitation is August 16th from 1 p.m. until 4 p.m. at Reeves Funeral Home in Gardner, Illinois. Cremation rights have been accorded. and funeral arrangements are being handled by Reeves, Fruland, and Baskerville Funeral Home in Gardner, Illinois. Get details on these and other local news stories at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com or on WTIM. WTIM is your only local news radio.